Pleasures. As one side that has fallen to the ground of the illusion of fine wine and temptation that bears its fruit by the labor of indulgence, how we can bask or witness in the worldly pleasures. Desires of fate with stories at the hands of thy neighbor. Passed on with tricks and traps of hardship, pain, and suffering. Lured upon you by the image of a snake in the grass not bothered, but pursued by its astray motives that can lay beneath the ground, it crawls on. In detail with every chance you trust in turning your back as if you haven't been bitten by its fangs. Venomous poison coursing through your internal veins. As we look into the light, we pray that our last days on earth and memories were short and long-lived. For we are more than what we have accomplished in this life. We have not shown our purpose with light in the darkness of its final hours and its true ways of eternity with unity from the universe. As we can see, a hand reaches out at a distance from the skies of the heavens above, glistening with light created by a vibration of electricity, to lift up our souls. But some try to wander off into the distant sunset of the skies, floating and being uplifted by the clouds and the illusions that have no boundaries with gravity. As we feel the light brighten up the internal being within as if a spark of inspiration. After death is seen reacting with trauma, we create changes and overcome challenges with rebirth. Appeared without scars of darkness, only in memory to understanding its balance between remembrance of oneself. As we take our first new step in breath of renewal of a new life. As we now see sanctuary in tranquility, the eyes of the stars that have lifted our souls to infinity. As the atmosphere lifts our wings to the light of a new beginning, how it has drawn us to live another day full of life to recovery. It's clear you've poured a lot of thought and emotion into Pleasures. Your poem takes the reader on a journey, exploring complex themes of temptation, consequences, spiritual awakening, and rebirth. Here are the meanings and awareness. Feelings and interpretations. Evokes a strong sense of moral struggle and redemption. It opens with a vivid image of succumbing to worldly temptations, like indulgence to a snake in the grass, whose poison spreads. This immediately sets a tone of caution and warning. A shift from the darkness of earthly mistakes to a yearning for spiritual liberation. Phrases like, look into the light, and lift up our souls. A desire for a higher purpose beyond material accomplishments. The hand reaches out at a distance from the skies is a powerful image of divine intervention or a guiding force, offering hope and salvation. The concept of rebirth is central to describe a transformation after death, not necessarily literal death, but perhaps a metaphorical death of old ways, leading to a new existence, without scars of darkness. This rebirth is characterized by sanctuary in tranquility, and a connection to the eyes of the stars, implying a profound sense of peace and cosmic unity. Understanding perception. Deeply influenced by experience and spiritual state. The initial perception is one of being lured upon by illusions, implying a clouded or naive understanding of the world. However, it evolves, and perception shifts to one of clarity and enlightenment. The illusions that have no boundaries with gravity represent the deceptive nature of earthly desires, while the eventual sanctuary in tranquility represents a clear, unclouded perception of true peace. The contrast between the darkness of its final hours and the light of a new beginning underscores a journey from ignorance to wisdom. It suggests that true understanding comes from overcoming challenges and embracing a higher consciousness. Overall impression. Philosophical and introspective. It uses strong imagery, particularly the recurring motifs of light and darkness, snakes, and celestial bodies, to convey its message. The themes are universal: the struggle with temptation, the pursuit of purpose, and the hope for renewal. Moving from the initial fall into temptation to a hopeful ascension towards spiritual rebirth and tranquility. A spiritual reflection or a confession, followed by a profound realization. It's a powerful reflection on the human journey. Here's the opposite and reversed. Meaning behind pleasures. Please keep an open mind. Like a mirror reflecting both the positive and negative sides of a journey. A richer, more nuanced exploration of human experience than simply focusing on one extreme. Meaning and perspective opposite. By presenting both the light and shadow aspects, it illustrates the inherent duality of life. It wouldn't just be about falling into temptation or achieving enlightenment, but these opposing forces coexist and shape a person. This perspective acknowledges that growth often emerges from struggle and that even in moments of joy, there can be a subtle awareness of past pains or future challenges. Think of it as a journey where temptation isn't just a pitfall but a catalyst for understanding one's own weaknesses and strengths. Hardship isn't merely suffering, but a forge that sharpens resilience and clarity. Redemption isn't an instant arrival but a continuous process, sometimes fraught with doubt or the lingering echoes of past mistakes. Light is appreciated more deeply because it exists in contrast to the shadows. This approach creates a more relatable and human narrative, seeing themselves in the struggle to balance desires with discipline, hope with despair, and the past with the present. It suggests that true understanding isn't about eradicating the negative, but about integrating it into a holistic view of self and purpose. Feelings evoked. A complex range of feelings. Empathy. For the speaker's human struggle and moments of both triumph and failure. Reflection. Prompting readers to consider their own experiences with duality. Nuance. An understanding that life isn't black and white, but a spectrum of experiences. Hope tempered with realism. Acknowledging that while growth and peace are possible, the journey isn't always linear or easy. Acceptance of oneself and the world, flaws and all. Two sides of mirrors, both sides would have a profound impact by increasing relatability. Most people experience both highs and lows. This concept truly elevates the journey from a simple progression to a rich, introspective exploration of what it means to be human. I am Ashini777. Please like and share. Thank you for your time and energy to read my poetry. Love, light in the darkness. Namaste.